Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. Kuntres HaTefila. Coming near the end of the Sefer. It's beautiful. End of Parak Hey. Continuing on the discussion of Das and understanding Das. But like I discussed a lot about in the shiur, understanding Das is key. Not just meaning is understanding it and then realizing how it is within our lives. Examples of it. And therefore, once we understand that, we have that understanding and we can apply it to when we learn Chassidus. Try to have that same, look for that goal, getting the same way. I'm going to finish Parak Hey, it's not Parak Vav Mitzvah Hashem. On top of page 60, discussing about Das and about how kids don't really have Das, meaning kids can understand things, but they don't really have that sensitivity. Like the story with my glasses, kids don't really appreciate, they don't have that appreciation. That's why kids aren't, even they can know all the halachas, but they're not really punishable till later because they don't have that emotional connection, emotional sensitivity to it. Page 6 in the top, intellectual effort. Of primary importance are one's intellectual efforts, i.e., although the ultimate purpose is the impression, feelings within the heart, and the manifest excitation of the emotions in the heart, which comprises a person's primary avodah, meaning that ultimately the das, like once we have the ability to have the das and to be able to connect what we're learning and in an emotional level, so then the not the obligation but the avodah is to learn the maimer well, to learn the stuff well, so you can understand it well. Because the more you understand it, the more you have das to it. Whether in and of itself, whether the animated observance of Torah mitzvahs, whether it's the idea itself or it's how it expresses itself in fulfilling Torah mitzvahs, whether in the purification and refinement of one's natural dispositions, or whether it's learning Chassidus, whether it's helping in the Torah mitzvahs, or whether it's refining ourselves, which is ultimately, this is the purpose, this is the message of this Kuntres. It's either to help you with learning Chassidus, help you have a geschmack in Torah mitzvahs, and help you work on yourself in a very real and practical, in a step-by-step, simple, doable way. As will be explained, and therefore it is written, know therefore this day and set it into your heart. But the main thing is the setting into your heart. You have to know Chassidus, and then put it into your heart, have it, take it, use the das, the faculty of das, to bring it out into the heart. This being the principle of avodah. Nevertheless, the very manifest ecstasy in the heart depends specifically on the person's excitation, exerting his brain. But even though that the purpose is the emotions, and this is what we talked about a few classes ago, that Chabad is not intellect, Chabad is about emotions, but it's emotions brought about through the intellect. And it's only according to the level of intellect is how much the emotions are going to be. The more you understand something, the more you appreciate it. When you speak about a car, and you don't really care that much about a car, there's not much you can talk about, not for long, and you won't really care. Whereas when you speak to a mechanic, I'm talking about a car, and he looks at the car. I'm not very much into cars. I look at the car. It's like, okay, it's a nice car. Like, oh, you don't understand this car. And so then there's people that are into cars, and they'll tell you, oh, look at this. This is a GX5. Oh, it's like the brand new car. I'm like, okay, whatever. Speak to a mechanic. The mechanic says the word car. It's a whole world. It means a whole world, and he could talk for hours. So he does all day. So too with our learning. When we have that connection, it's not enough that we're connected, but the more we have, the more we understand about the, so to speak, car, the Chassidus, and the more details we understand of how the car works, the more we can talk and the more we can connect to it. And the connection that a mechanic has to the word car and what car means to him is infinitely more than someone that doesn't understand anything about a car. So to us, when we learn the ability to have the das in what we're learning, so then when we learn, we have more enthusiasm, and also we pay attention more to what's going on, and we try to really understand it well, because the more we understand it, the more we'll connect to it, and the more it'll have an impact in our lives. And therefore, a person must toil to particularly prolong his meditation. So now I just want to make another important preface that we have to understand that in the times of the Rebbe Rashab, the things that he requires for the people, for him, are things that are not necessarily practical nowadays. Irrelevant whether it's practical or not, it's something to know but we should never hold ourselves to this standard. The purpose of learning Chassidus, and the way you learn Chassidus, and this is a very important understanding, is you don't learn it as like a black and white thing. You learn it as you're trying to understand. The Rebbe could have just told you, listen, I want you to spend an hour thinking about Chassidus, and this is how you should daven. Why does he give us this whole long book? And so too with every mimer and every piece of Chassidus you learn. The Rebbe has a question, and he has a whole middle bit, and there's an answer. Why not just give me the question and the answer? The middle bit is to make you become part of it. That you're the leader, that you understand it the way the Rebbe understands it. And so you see the situation or whatever it is the Rebbe is talking about, the way the Rebbe sees it, to the extent that it becomes the way you see it. Not just, oh, now I understand how the Rebbe sees it, but this is how I see it. And so too with here, when we're learning this, the vart is not, oh, he says you have to meditate for an hour, so I can't do that, it's too hard. Or I'll spend 10 minutes because I'm not good enough. That's not the point. The point is he's teaching you to get the message. The message is we should learn Chassidus in a way that we connect to it and that it means something to us. And we should spend the time, whatever it takes for us to get to them. And the more we care about it, the more we feel that it actually is something that we can do, automatically it will spend more time. Bez must particularly prolong his meditation and to absorb exceedingly well the essence of the godly matter that he comprehends so that it is felt within his mind. And he says, putting the effort, you're not saying you have to spend an hour. He's saying you have to spend time to make sure that you can get it, that it connects with you. It's not going to happen on one foot, as you're running out the door. He's saying spend the time to learn it well and connect it. And then you'll get it and you'll have it. You'll feel the godliness and you'll connect with it. And think about it. Once when you learn Chassidus in this way, and you feel it connected to it, and it's not just an idea or some random thought or some random thing that it's talking about itself that I don't understand anything about, but once something talking about me and my life, so then automatically your whole Judaism will change. Your want to learn Chassidus will change, but more, your Torah mitzvah will change, your want to daven will change, your want to work on yourself will change. And this is sort of, it's like this is the key. His comprehension is amplified and broadened thereby. The more time you spend to actually get it, meaning give yourself the time that you need to actually understand it, it means instead of learning 3 maimarim, learn 1 maimar 3 times. That's a simple example. You don't have to rush to do so many things. I spent learning Chassidus in the morning to learn Kuntres HaTefila for 6 months. Spent half an hour every day. We learned it over 6 months. We learned it twice. It could have stopped, and it's a long 6 months, a big commitment. We could have stopped halfway through. But we're like, listen, I'd rather gain this than learn 2 things and have them both not understood. And that's what he's saying. Instead of trying to learn more, learn quality-wise. His comprehension is amplified and broadened, thereby giving him a very clear understanding and grasp of the matter in all of its details, and with greater depth, as explained above, until the illumination of the light is tangibly manifest in his mind. And you push it, it's alive by you. Meaning, I remember when I was a Bachar, and I see this today, even people that are Bachar, they learn things once or very superficially, and they don't have that das, so they learn it, they come, and then you say, oh, no, you want to say something? And they sit there, and they're trying to rack their brains to understand, what was that? And they're trying to say a vart, and they half have it, and they don't have it, Better sit on one thing, and it could be that you tell a vart of from Pashas Noach, this week in Pashas Shalach, but it's a vart that you understand, you connect with, you have a das with it, so you're connected to it, and people will enjoy it, and also you'll give it over like something that's relevant. Whereas when you come and you say, oh yeah, I learned the Sikha today, they ever said, well, what was it? A question? Oh, what was the answer? That's what he's saying. He's saying, don't do it that way. Sit there, take one thing, learn it, and try to live with it. And try to connect with it. And the more you can connect with it, the more you put in the effort to understand it well, and the whole process is just infinitely greater. Then automatically the light is drawn into the heart, and automatically will be, once you understand this concept of das and you know what it's like, so then you'll put in the effort to get it, and you'll feel it, and everything will change. The heart then sharply senses the godly matter, and the heart's emotions become ecstatic with true love and awe. You feel it, you connect with it, and suddenly you're all excited, whether it's a love or an awe, but you feel it. You connected to it on an emotional level. It's beautiful. This is termed hispilus atzmim, This is expilos is like excitement, sensual excitement, meaning it's hitting the core of you. In other words, his ecstasy is not an artificial one. Rather, the heart is truly excited over the godliness itself on account of the sensation and the godliness felt in his heart. You're truly excited, and then you come and you learn, and when you finish, you feel different. You're a different person. You feel excited. Wow! And the Chassidus had this impact on you. This is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ideas. And if you know, you can listen to it again. Yeah, it's beautiful. Das, summary. Bottom of 60. Das, aside from enabling mental attachment to a concept, it is distinct intellect. It is spiritual sense perception, which allows the person to sense the matter that is understood. And its nerves are primarily in the brain. Then, once the concept is felt, the resultant excitation in the heart is genuine. So the das is the ability to sense the concept, not just understand it, but you sense it. You know, it's hard to like describe. It's like an emotion. You feel it. You feel the idea. And once that happens, then what it produces in the heart is real. Beautiful. What's the time? Let's see. I guess we'll probably stop here. I don't want to run over the time. And tomorrow we're going to discuss more of this. And now that we sort of, so to speak, now we sort of finished the understanding of Das. So we've explained Das. Hopefully we get it. And if not, we can bring about it more. But once we now understand Das, so now he's saying people learn. There's a mistake that happens. They learn intellectually, not trying to connect themselves to it, but just like understand the process, which I think a lot of people nowadays do, or they don't realize they're doing it, but that's what they're doing. And he says, and then they come and they look to get excited from. So what's the take-home message? And you're missing a lot, and therefore your excitement's not the same. Your connection, all that we just talked about now, you don't have. And the reason is because you're not learning it in the way you should. You might be reading the same words, but the way you're looking at it and the way you're connecting with it is not the same. Yeah, I hope we'll continue tomorrow, chapter Vav, Perek Vav, and I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you very much for joining.